Hi, everyone. How are you? Welcome to this week's session number 3, Jobs in Web3 that aren't just for tech bros. I'm going to let some people come into the room, so I will go off camera for a moment and you can just look at the beautiful presentation I've created. Hello. Oh, sorry guys. I just made this presentation based on previous presentations because I like them to stay formatted. It says January 13th. My bad. It's February 3rd. So it is session 3 though, so I got that right. But yeah, I'll do that for next time. Please enjoy. Error on my part. Thank you for coming. Today we are going to talk about jobs in Web3 that aren't just for tech bros. I think this is a very important conversation to have because I know a lot of people are curious about Web3 and think, but what does it mean for me? I don't think I could ever become a part of this world. I'm not in tech. I don't understand it. And excuse me, my phone just went off. And, but that's what the session is about, because I'm certainly somebody that was not in tech before I got into Web3, and now I'm fully immersed in it. And it's really exciting and really fun. And I've really carved a path for myself in here and found my niche, which is very exciting. So that totally can happen to anybody watching this. And this is just a nice, short, quick presentation on where to find jobs, what jobs are actually out there, and just kind of want to talk about what if you don't think you have any Web3 skills. So let's begin. And if you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and post them in the chat box. I think if it's on LinkedIn, you can do it through there, Facebook, and YouTube. Alrighty, so jobs in Web3 that aren't just for tech bros. Welcome. I just wanted to talk about the agenda real quick. So briefly, I'll be talking about the types of jobs in Web3. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive list. There are bajillions, and we'll talk about that in just a second, actually. So, and then we'll also talk about where to find jobs in Web3. Again, countless places. I found some solid resources, but then there are also some very common traditional resources that you already know and probably already have in the past, if not right now, are looking for work. And they're also really big into Web3 jobs. And then the final question, which is probably the biggest one, what if you have no experience in Web3? And we'll talk about that as well and kind of what that means. So let's begin. This is just my favorite movie ever. I thought it was an appropriate. What would you say you do here? Oh, I've had so many jobs where I couldn't even tell you. So I had to share that little slide with you right there. Oh, 1 second, actually. I am going to hide the banner that I've created here. Alrighty, righty. So I just want to talk about the types of jobs in Web3. I think they're all of them. I think of Web3 as another planet we are colonizing, like Mars. And when you colonize a planet, you need an infrastructure. You need absolutely everything. You have to bring everything to the place that you are building. And that includes jobs for everyone. It's not just programmers, developers, software engineers, coders. It's teachers, farmers, postal service workers. It can really be anything. And, you kind of translate that into what Web3 is, and anybody really can get a foot into this crazy new world, even if they don't understand it. It literally takes enthusiasm and curiosity. I really think that those are the two biggest factors for any job seeker wanting to enter the world of Web3, because everybody knows that. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought because I got a text message. I'll have to edit this part out. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got to turn my text messages off. Sorry guys, I'm frazzled today. It's been a crazy week over here. We minted our collection last week and we had our reveal party today. That's what I'm doing in Web3. I'm a founder and creator. I guess I should talk about that. I started an NFT brand. I started an NFT collection. I'm building with others in this space to educate and onboard analog 80s kids, non-digital natives into Web3 through education, entertainment, and community. And that's, I feel like, is my passion and my soul's purpose in this space. So I'm not a tech person. I'm not a coder, a dev, or any of that. I am a bringer together of people. And I'm sure that, that's definitely a career you can have in Web3. And we will get to that in just a second. I wanted to think back about, Web 2, when Web 2 really kicked in, there were new careers invented. Like 10 years ago, social media, what the hell? And the jobs that came from it, what the hell? I remember I was changing careers at that time and I would see job postings for social media managers. I'm like, what the heck is that? And I just was like, well, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. So obviously I can't apply to it. Which brings me back to what I was talking about, curiosity and enthusiasm. You can have zero experience in the Web3 space, but if you have curiosity and enthusiasm, you will get hired over people that maybe have more experience, because it's such a new space. It's still growing. Everybody's still learning. Nobody is an expert. So if you come in with a willingness to learn and an enthusiasm to stay the course, that goes so much further than just some person coming in just looking for a job. Okay, I'm a coder. I'm a salesperson. I just want to get a job. I don't care if it's Web3 or Web2. They may have 20 years experience, but if they're not excited, enthusiastic, and passionate about Web3, I bet the person that is going to get that job, and then they will get trained, and then they will be a part of that company in the Web3 world. So just again, you think about the old Web2 jobs, influencers, right? You didn't have influencers before Instagram and, and TikTok and all of that. Content creators, you didn't have people that spent their life with a video camera in front of their face just walking around and selfies. And I remember I was at NFTLA last year and every fifth person had a camera crew because they were all content creators running around just observe filming their life, being a product for whatever, being the brand for whatever product they were selling. The brand for whatever product they're selling. And, social media managers, it's just the manager of social media. That was new. SEO experts, finding all the words, the hashtags, the keywords for all the searches. So the algorithm finds you. I mean, that's a whole thing. And that doesn't really require tech experience. I think it's more writing experience and just education. There's audience development managers to find your audience for whatever you're selling. Audience. I have that twice. My goodness. This is a fun one. Thank you for bearing with me. This is me at my finest. And, user experience manager, that's another big one for Web2 because people are now having these front-facing platforms, the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Vine. Oh my God, remember that? All of these things. And they need to curate a user experience, and that doesn't necessarily require technical skills. So when you think about Web3, those jobs are still there. It's not like Web3 are going to totally replace all the Web2 jobs. I think they'll actually just enhance them and widen the scope of what's available. And then new careers and new positions are being created and have been created. So probably the most relevant to me, or the most relevant, is Discord mods and community managers, because Discord and Twitter, that's kind of where Web3 lives. And Discord's confusing. It's a very technical place, but it doesn't really take tech skills to understand it. You just have to learn it. It's like learning a new language or reading a book and Googling some videos, and then you kind of understand it. It's implemented very well so that you don't need to have the Web3 skills. We have a question here. Do you think most Web2 jobs will eventually require an amount of Web3 knowledge? I think yes, because there will be so many NFTs that will just be so prevalent in daily life. You won't even know they're NFTs at that point, but you might have to know how to download something or know what blockchain is or have a wallet address or have some sort of connection to Web3 that permeates into your Web2 world. I mean, oh my gosh, was it Amazon's launching an NFT? And then I can't think of it. Oh, the DMV, the California DMV is putting their system on the blockchain. Like, that's huge. That is a massive step forward into Web3. So that's happening. It's already happening. So think about that. You would never equate the DMV with with technical wizardry, and here they are adopting Web3 technology. So it's pretty exciting. And so again, you could get a job in this field without actually having any Web3 experience. And just fun things like Twitter Spaces hosts. Podcasts kind of came out of Web2, but now Twitter Spaces hosts are the new podcast, and Twitter Spaces are just live podcasts. And they're definitely a thing. People are getting sponsored, promoted, paid to host these Twitter Spaces that have thousands upon thousands of people in them sometimes. And so it's instant, immediate audience participation, other than like a podcast, which you have to film the podcast, edit the podcast, all that. This is like live, just in your face. It's all very exciting because everything moves so fast in this space. So that's one thing that's really interesting. And then I just love the word phygital. Physical means digital designers. It's such a clumsy word, but that is definitely a job in this space, and you should Google it. It's just a funny word. And there's metaverse architects and interior designers. So if you think that, oh, I'm an architect or I stage houses for a living, I work in real estate, that's definitely a skill that will come into the metaverse when actually people start actively participating and engaging in this space. They'll want to decorate their house. They'll want to throw parties, you'd be an event planner. People are going to get married in the metaverse. There's so many things that are going to be happening. And all of those people and all of the people those people employ will all be a part of this whole Web3 web. And, one thing that I've been looking for and haven't been able to find are emoji makers for Discord. Like, Discord is really big on emojis. Every server has their own group of emojis. And I've been kind of trying to make my own, and they're not that great. I need to find a designer to make emojis. And that's a job. And, thumbnail designers too. The people, when you start your YouTube videos and they have like the episode 4 and then the person going, hey, they're just kind of like, I think kind of cheesy, but they're very effective. thumbnail things that catch your eyes. You're scrolling through TikTok or watching YouTube. Those are people design those. People actually design those. And some big brand influencers are very particular about their thumbnail designs. And if they don't get that thumbnail correct, they won't post the video, no matter what it costs to post the video. If they care so much about how that thumbnail looks, because it's the first point of contact. So that's very important. So if you have art skills, Canva skills, Photoshop skills, InDesign, those aren't necessarily technical. Those are arty. So there's definitely things you can do, which is kind of cool. And so along with that, there are just regular traditional jobs that are becoming and will become and stay more relevant than ever in this space. I just put a few here, marketing assistant, you have to, people need to know what Web3 is. You gotta, hopefully, people do their job and can get people in to do it. Project managers just overseeing a project, they have that in every, managers, my friend was a manager at Baskin Robbins. She could probably take those skills and become a manager of a Web3 project. It's kind of the same people management skills. Nunchuck skills. Thank you, LinkedIn user. 100% you need nunchuck skills in this space. I mean, that was basically, I'm going to spend a whole hour next week on nunchuck skills. So thank you for that. Being a sales lead, and a recruiter. People want to work in this job field, but maybe don't know that their skills apply to them. You can be a recruiter and find the people and be a connector and a people person. And, video editors for projects and influencers, just like that still exists. Obviously, if you're going to, do TikTok videos, or, that's a very Web2 thing, but that's definitely something that is going to be prevalent in Web3, live events, metaverse events, running events, just in, being the person that kind of handles the door, handles the ticket sales, all of that. And I think that big companies, Web3 will definitely have, educators, legal professionals, consultants. I think that those are all going to be very traditional jobs, but they'll definitely have their place in Web3. And I think educators is one of the biggest ones, because, people don't know about this stuff. So I, more than anything in this space, fancy myself an educator, even though I might be a dingbat sometimes about, messing up the date on my presentation or whatever, or like blanking when somebody texts me, but I'm still an educator. I'm learning as I go, and I'm honest and I'm authentic. And I want people to see that anybody can do it if I can do it. And I hope that inspires people, because I'm certainly not who you'd expect to be in this space, but I'm here every day showing up, and I love it. And one thing, lastly, I think is really important is talking about social justice activism. I was on a Twitter space yesterday with this really wonderful human, and she was talking about social justice in the Web3 space. And I think that, just like any new place you exist in, there has to be a social justice aspect to it, and it needs to be talked about. And to build that in Web3 is so important, because that shouldn't get left out. It shouldn't get left out of anything in life, but definitely not Web3, because it's a place we're all going to be living. So you can 100%, that's definitely something that people are doing, and you can bring your skills to that as well. So I think that's very, very cool that all of these exist. And there's a bajillion more. This is literally just a handful. I just wanted to show you a smattering. So where to find these jobs in Web3? Honestly, you can just Google non-tech jobs in Web3. I did it, and these top three came up, and they have a hash. They have a forward slash of non-tech jobs, non-tech. So people are aware that, Web3 companies are aware that non-tech people want to get into this space. So definitely, you can write these down. I'm sorry you can't copy and paste them or click on them because they're not live, but just Google non-tech jobs in Web3 and you'll find a lot. And you can, once you're in there, you can type in your specific skill set. I would type in writer, I would type in copywriter, and then I would see what comes up. And also just look at traditional websites. Indeed.com has a boatload of Web3 jobs. You just have to literally type in Web3, type in NFT, type in blockchain, type in DeFi, type in, non-fungible token. You can type in any of the buzzwords and see what comes up. And LinkedIn too is a huge source. I really, really am impressed with LinkedIn. A lot of Web3 people are here already, and more are coming every day. And there are new jobs posted all the time. For example, I know you can't see this, but there is actually a wonderful community called GenX Nation on LinkedIn. You should definitely join it. Sarah Blankenship is the founder of that, and she posted today a job for GenX. Actually, I don't know if it's Web3, but jobs in Web3, jobs for GenX, they exist on LinkedIn, and that's really important. So just, look around, find your connections. And sorry, I'm coming back to the screen here. And also, this may seem weird, but check out Fiverr, because Fiverr is kind of just it's where people go to see what's happening. It's if something is hot, somebody's going to have a job offering up that on Fiverr. So you can just go to Fiverr and look to see what people are asking for work, and it's across the board. It's everything from marketing, education, art, NFTs, virtual assistant, proofreader, translators, music. I mean, it's just everything is on there. So if you could pretty much go and find the job that you would want in Web3 and see if people are looking for it on Fiverr, and then maybe go search for it in another place that might be hiring. So that's kind of my trick of, check out Fiverr, because they have their button, their finger on the button of all the hot jobs that are going on in Web3 right now, because that's a place where people look to hire people when they don't know where else to go to get their ideas out there in Web3. So why does GenX need to care about this? And I talked about this a few sessions back, but I added to it here. We need to stay relevant as we get older to stay employed and shift with the changing times. Think about ChatGPT. If you haven't heard about ChatGPT, not BTP, my goodness, don't sleep on this. Download it, start using it, start exploring it. Watch videos on TikTok or YouTube of people showing you the hacks to get into it. Super powerful. Microsoft just announced today that they're incorporating ChatGPT into their Teams software for meetings. So ChatGPT will be taking notes of the meeting and then summarizing them at the end. And it's just a feature that they're featuring. So, I mean, think about like a court stenographer. I mean, is that job going to go away? I hope not. GPT. Yeah, ChatGPT. And I'm a writer by trade. I'm kind of nervous. Wow, what if my job, goes away? Because you can just whip anything up via ChatGPT. And, that's definitely been on the minds of a lot of people. And is it going to replace us right now? No, it's not that smart, but it is really knowledgeable. It's like having a friend who isn't the smartest, but has all the knowledgeable information on the planet at his fingertips. And they will present it in a way that's kind of but it's still there, and it's fast, and you get it within like 2 seconds. So it's powerful. So familiarize yourself with that for sure. And then kind of really think out 5-10 years, will my job still be relevant with AI coming in the way it is? And think about it. It's a real thing to think about. And so, also, again, why GenX needs to care, you need to know how this works so you can teach and relate to your kids and grandkids who will grow up in Web3. And what if you started a company in Web3 that you can pass on to your children or grandchildren, or they can work for you? I mean, if you're early enough, that's definitely a possibility. So I think that these are things that you should be thinking about if you have that entrepreneurial spirit to actually want to start your own thing in Web3. But if you don't, you might need to pivot a career. You already have your Web2, your analog, whatever, your in real life job. Web3 might offer an immense job and potential wealth building opportunities, even for non-tech people. So you can pivot your careers. You can do something that you were doing in real life in Web2 and pivot it over to a Web3 company. So they will hire you, and you'll have the comfort and safety of having a boss, having a 401k, having vacation time. It's not like Web3 is like some la-la universe where those things don't exist. They're still very real businesses that offer benefits and all the good stuff that you would get with any corporate job. They're just startup Web3 companies. Sometimes they even offer more benefits. Most of them are remote. I mean, that's a huge thing, I think, for Gen X. As you get older, maybe you want to retire, maybe you want to move closer to your kids, or move away from your kids, or downsize your house, or you've been priced out of a market and once your kids graduate high school and you want to move. If you have a Web3 job, you might be able to go live anywhere you want that's much cheaper, and to have a lucrative career in the space. So that's also a really important point to think about. Think about the holistic value of your time in your life and time you have left on this planet, and think about, how would I want to spend that, in an office, or could I do it remotely somewhere a lot more affordable and just kind of get a little more of my life back? So those are all, I think, really relevant points. I hope this is helpful. So Last thing, I mean, that's it, guys. It's a short and sweet thing, but we'd love it if you join our community. We talk about this a lot. If you want to check out our website, genxnfts.xyz, we do a lot of fun stuff in there. All of the socials are in there to join our community. You can follow, if you're here, you're on LinkedIn, but we're also in Discord. We have a lot of fun in there. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. And so check us out, learn more, ask questions, reach out to me. I'm here. I really want to see more Gen Xers in the Web3 space because your skill set and your mindset is so valuable in this space and it's missing here. We need you. So I hope this was helpful. I really appreciate you all coming today and have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Take care.